Hi everyone, my name is Crazy, and today we are back with a different style of video, where I will be doing a class overview of everything that's in the game. Keep in mind there will be changes, some might get revamped or even removed, others might get added. Without further ado, let's get into it. First up is the Doctor class. This is very clearly a support class with your splints. Poisons, it's very important. You get your scalpel as your melee tool. First aid kits. What I really want to show, if I can find it, I believe it's that there. Yes, it is. So, this here is actually a dart gun. And you've got your stun darts, your healing darts, and your adrenal darts, which is essentially a steroid that you can shoot into your teammates. Then you get your actual steroids. With a couple of magazines to help you out. Your whole job is to support your teammates. And each class comes equipped with some kind of ultimate ability. In this case, it's the Last Breath Trauma Kit, which allows to heal himself and all team members within range and even give them full stamina and health regen. So it is very much a support class, but it is good to use. I'm half tempted to shoot that pig with this stun dart, but I don't think it's going to go very well for me. Wrong button. Isn't there a transfer all? Or is that not in this version? Alright. Next up is Engineer. This is, I assume it means a structural engineer. They're very much your builder, so if you like base building, this is the class for you. I'm not even sure what this item does. I think it's just an upgraded claw hammer. Yeah, double the block range of regular hammer, slightly more damage. It has 3 times the repair speed. You also get your pickaxe and fire axe for clearing out an area to build. And your auger, it's a special auger that allows you to just drill through the ground with some fuel for it. A couple of magazines to help you with the mining, along with a forge schematic, and the ultimate being brain food, which gives unlimited stamina for tool usage. So it's great for digging out your foundation or whatever pit you're building, so you can put in your actual base. You don't really get much in terms of weapons with this one since it's just tools, but these are just the support classes. Right. Your handyman is on the other side of that. They specialize in electronics, including the junk turret, stun baton. Their biggest thing about them is their impact wrench and their ability to repair any vehicle they find on the map. They also get the sled. It does not look like a sled. There we go. Which, if I'm not mistaken, you can actually ride it. Yes. The animation's a little bit goofy. But this is so. It helps with your loot run since it has its own storage and allows you to go further. What did I do? I don't know what that. Alright, I'm just going to ignore that. You're very much a salvage everything class and use it to repair vehicles and build your electronics. For this ultimate, you get 25% boost to movement speed, allows you to harvest almost any salvageable object. And I'm pretty sure this also includes breaking into saves where it'll just break the locks immediately. But if you hit it twice, then you'll just destroy it. Farmer class is exactly what it sounds like. You plant crops at a better rate than any other class. Actually not sure what that does, there's no description on it. I believe you're able to harvest them better with the scythe, and this also doubles as a weapon. It's got, looks like no level in the durability, and you get the ability to plant the MDX flowers, which I don't see one. See if I can find one. Yeah. Plant the seeds. No other class is able to do that, which they are important for some of the late game recipes. Starts with all sorts of seeds, herbal antibiotics, a blunderbuss as your weapon, and your ability is the bonfire. It not only gives you everything the regular campfire does, but it will heal you and your teammates if you stand close enough to it. It also has a lower heat signature, so it'll be less likely to spawn in a wandering horde. Apologize if I messed something up. Some of these classes I'm not too familiar with. Next is the Clergy, which is the first combat class we're looking at. With what weapon do they get? The Iron Barbed Club and a pickaxe to start with, but they also get the Blessed Metal mod, which has increased damage to undead targets, which is most of the enemies in this game. And the Burning Shaft mod to light them on fire. A couple of books. Oh, this is... I'm sorry, that's their ultimate. A couple of books. Your Lantern of Antioch, which I believe works similar to a land claim block. And you get the schematic for it. You get the most overpowered weapon in the game, the Holy Hand Grenade. Don't use it. It's a mistake, trust me. It's a literal nuke. Then the ultimate Holy Inscription, which does an AoE buff. I believe it cures you of all the debuffs, and I think also knockback damage to enemies within range. Wait, what's this? Mod armor of Andrioch. Hang on. Okay, yeah. So this here doesn't say what it is. I believe it was an item created. It is getting very dark in this game. This here was an item created to help prevent the darkness. There were some issues with Piney, so it was originally designed for him, since he liked to play as this class. But it repels the darkness, so you don't panic as much. And my game is frozen. There we go. Yeah, I didn't mention this. Every class comes with the mining helmet, because this is a very dark game, and without light you will become panic in the dark. What class is this? Berserker. Your close range fighter with the iron club, the chainsaw, and your double barrel. Get some Molotovs for AoE, but this is very much a get in the face and just shred everything. Shotgun Messiah book. And your ultimate, the White Lightning. It highlights all threats nearby. It also gives you a tunnel vision so you can't see very much, except for your enemies. And it gives you 250% entity damage. He also gains unlimited stamina from melee weapons and 50% lifesteal. So it's very much pop that, grab a chainsaw, and just go to town. But don't do this to me, game. And we're done. And we're back after a little crash. So next up is the bodyguard. Definitely a tanky class. Couple of books. Start off with the stone sledgehammer and a heavy helmet with the flashlight mod. Even heavy chest armor. Some painkillers to do damage mitigation, which keeps you in combat longer. You're slow, but if you hit something, it does a ton of damage. And you get the Unbreakable Will ultimate ability. Detonates a decoy that aggroes all enemies within range, making you the target. But you also become invulnerable to nearly all forms of damage. Think about the only exception is explosions. Yeah, definitely a fun class to play. Alright, sorry about that. Next up is the monk class. This is your kind of brawler type class. You do light strikes, but you can do them quick. So the armor, the training, wraps. This is a schematic. I think this is a special kind of knuckle-based item. You get Fort Bites, which give you damage resistance. I'm not 100% sure what this does. It's probably armor mod. Couple of books. Yeah, bonus damage to humans. Power attacks can knock down enemies. Ultimate ability is Enlightenment. I believe this lets them attack faster. The enemy will receive a chance to receive 1 of 5 effects upon striking them. Freezing, shocked, a knockdown, burning, or death touch, which causes severe bleeding. It also gets a 4 times attack boost and 18% movement speed boost. So yeah, definitely a fast attacker. Get some vitamins as well. I've never used this class. I know Epic likes it. Next up is the Gladiator. It's pretty much what you think it is. You're throwing spears, which, if I'm not mistaken, you power attack to throw, but you get more than one, even though it's just in one stack there. Get a short sword as your weapon and a hatchet. Don't believe that is a throwing weapon. Don't think this is a throwing weapon. It is a throwing weapon, just like the spear. Yeah, you can do melee with either, or you can throw them. Scrap helmet and gloves. On the Night Stalker, Fireman's Almanac. For your ultimate, you get Glory. It grants access to a leap that causes a napalm effect upon landing and ragdolls all enemies within. I sure hope that does not affect allies. And the Riot Shield. This one makes you invincible for 5 seconds. So you just switch to it and switch back to your weapon, and you're immune for 5 seconds. And you can just use it over and over. It's a pretty good melee class. Alright. This is the Rambo class. The Gorilla. Lucky Looter. Landmines. Yeah, Primitive Molotov, Primitive Grenade. Those ones are good because as you see you have the Primitive Grenade. Look up what the recipe is. Recipe. Can, gunpowder, stone, and cloth. So pretty easy to get. What was the other one? The Molotov. Glass, gas, cloth, and animal fat. Yeah, so pretty easy to craft both of these. But this is the only class that gets those manuals for. You got primitive landmines. And there's 4 of them. Primitive charges, which I think these do block damage. That says 0 on both. I think this more block damage than actual damage, and the other ones are entity damage. know what this item is. It's not even coming up. Okay, I don't know what this item is. You have something in a forge or... Yeah. So you'll get a crossbow with crossbow bolts and exploding bolts. You'll get a Moag, which is a high yield explosive. Fairly powerful. I think this might actually be more powerful than the Holy Hand Grenade. There's the schematic for it. It's very expensive. Yeah, Yonder Way Hard, 1,000 gunpowder, 5 MDX fire seeds, glass fragment, and gold. But with the farmer being the only one to actually grow MDX, it would be difficult for this class to get the seeds. Not impossible though. And the ultimate is Doomsday. Adds an additional amount of blast radius and block damage to all exploding projectiles, which is half your arsenal. In addition to this, upon impact, an additional napalm effect to all enemies within range. You have to be using that kind of weapon. You're also completely immune to all explosives. So yeah, this one could safely use the Moag, as long as all your friends are out of the blast radius. Next up is another ranged class, the Infantry. Modern day armor, a couple of the urban combat. You're armed with an M4A1. You get flash grenades. I guess they're on this X25. Cigar. Standard grenades. And the Frogman MRE. Gives 50% physical damage resistance and 50% bleed resistance to yourself and all team members within range. So definitely pretty powerful, would help your melee fighters quite a bit. Now we start switching over to some of the more stealth-based classes. This one was the Marksman. So the sort of modern-day sniper. You do get a wooden bow and a hunting rifle, along with a scope and some polymer string. Get a couple of books regarding these, and your ability is dead on. Should be, I believe, damage while using the sniper. Yeah, also by setting them ablaze, make them very easy to see in absolute zero light. Slightly enhanced version of night vision. While in the ultimate, while holding a ranged weapon, he gets 450% entity damage. So yeah, it definitely allows you to take on some high health enemies with that ultimate. Next you have the Hunter. It's a pretty cool class. your sort of double as the chef. Antibiotics. Couple hunting schematics. Poison antidote. Also get a makeshift, these are medical field dressings, so they're like bandages, but I think they're a little bit worse. Yeah, you get your poison antidote. Another light armor class. This one has a hunting dog. Unfortunately, they don't work great. He did not just do that. Although it's not fighting back, so we'll allow it. You can't give commands or anything, and in multiplayer they sometimes attack teammates, so it is a little bugged. You have your fishing rod. Does this one have fishing traps, or is that... I guess it didn't have fishing traps. And you got your nature's secret knowledge. How it's all animals for you. All animals, both friendly and hostile, within 300 meters. 10% entity damage for all animal types. And for the first 10 seconds, you can insta-cook anything, so... yeah. Definitely good for survivability. Yeah. This here actually gives you multiple hunting dogs. He gets a hunting knife for... in my way, dog. For harvesting. Alright, the intel. A very fast class. Walkie-talkie and earphone for communication, not that you need it. Gets night vision. Full automod and a pistol. A couple pistol Pete. What if class really shines, or these additional items? I want to say this is just a distraction. He does get a jump pad. Which is pretty good to use with the parachute. Jump pad does not work with the hang glider, because hang glider is like all the other vehicles, you have to place it down first. And then the juice gives you 250% movement speed. Gains lightning particle for good measure, because that's what Epic wanted. So yeah, it's very fast. Very fast, and sort of the jump off a roof and activate a parachute to get away from danger. This should be the last class. One of my favorites, the Assassin. Another light class. Primarily role was to use a machete. They get a silencer but no guns. What makes them unique is they have sort of two ultimates. The Ninja Smoke Bomb, which cloaks you and all teammates invisible for 20 seconds. However, this does run the stealth check, so if you continue attacking enemies while invisible, they can find you. Or even if you just walk up next to them. You can get the Penthrox Injector, which is a more upgraded version, but it only affects the person who used it. You get 60 seconds, but you have to be using a 9mm pistol or SMG or melee weapon. Yeah, so I don't even think you can use the bow with it. and a stack of 50 lockpicks. So these are pretty good for evading enemies and just sneaking around. And since this class is heavy on stealth, you should pass a stealth check once you get a couple points in. You can use this to try to help your teammates, but they could still die anyways. And that is all the current classes that are in the game. Have any questions or suggestions, feel free to let us know. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you and goodbye.